Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Jacob Pratt, and welcome back to Something Sinister, where we explore the horror in fact and in fiction. Now, I always usually do like a little bit of a disclaimer before a video, but this one is a little bit more important than the other ones. So this is the first Iceberg, I believe, that we are dealing solely with like true crime and real people, and it's more so the fact than it is normally the fiction. And so with that comes the disclaimer. So a lot of people assume two things when they look at an Iceberg video. The first is that it is arranged by obscurity, and the second is that it is arranged by severity. But I just want everyone to know that when I was crafting this Iceberg, I arranged it by obscurity and not severity. And what I mean by that is because we are dealing with true crime and things like that, I thought that it was pretty inappropriate to sort of, I guess, gauge like, oh, you know, what this person did, you know, to this person is, you know, not as bad as what this person did to this person. Because at the end of the day, all of the things that we are talking about in this video in terms of like crime and whatnot are serious subjects and not meant to be like ranked, I guess. Crime is crime. Horrible things are horrible things at the end of the day, and I don't think that one is worse than the other, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So when I was approaching this list, I'm ranking it by obscurity. For example, everyone knows who Onision is, but maybe not everyone knows who Dolly Flesh is, and those people might not know who Not So Fantastic Devin is. So now that I've got that out of the way, I just want to say, make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video. There is actually a pretty important and exciting announcement from myself. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for stopping by and subscribing and continuing to share the channel with your friends and show it all the love that you have. We're starting a new year now, and I just can't wait to see what happens with the channel. So other than that, I will talk to you guys here in a second. All right, bye. James Jackson, born Gregory James Daniel, is known professionally by his online alias, Onision. He was an American YouTuber. His primary YouTube channel, Onision, featured sketches and satirical clips. Videos posted to his other channels focused on personal stories covering controversial topics as well as discussion with his viewers. His online content has attracted controversy and criticism from online media outlets and viewers alike, as well as many allegations of misconduct in his private life. Daniel was banned from VidCon in 2012 due to a video in which he stated that since his then-girlfriend Adrian had slept with more than 20 people before she was with him, and therefore she was a slut and could not be taken advantage of. The video then received backlash from viewers outside of Daniel's core audience, as noted by New Media Rockstars and The Daily Dot. VidCon co-founder Hank Green sent an email to Daniel stating, "If it is possible that you will not be safe, we will not let you come to VidCon." In November of 2019, Daniel was banned from Patreon after posting the phone number of Billy Dawn Webb, a fellow YouTuber. Webb was one of the several women who claimed Daniel and his spouse had groomed and manipulated them into a sexual relationship or otherwise engaged in harassment and abuse. Patreon confirmed in a statement to The Verge that they had banned Daniel as he violated our bullying and harassment policy as it relates to doxing. In 2019, allegations of child grooming and abuse were leveled at Daniel and his spouse, Kai, formerly known as Lainey. Jackson responded by stating that the grooming stuff is absolute nonsense. As aforementioned, Billy Dawn Webb also made allegations of abuse by Daniel and Kai, stating that they were sent texts asking them to be chained to the basement wall for a week with a sign around their neck that says, "I'm sorry for lying." When reached by Insider for a comment in response to these allegations, Daniel requested $10,000 for an interview and stated, "I do not want to participate in this circus without compensation. I should be paid to endure the stupidity of the current state of outrage/online culture." In January of 2020, Daniel apparently called 911 on American television journalist Chris Hansen and lawyer Mike Morse in response to them knocking on his door. He described Hansen and his crew as YouTuber stalkers. Morse, referring to Daniel, stated that it concerns me that he has 2 kids in the home and that he really didn't like that I was hearing about this guy. According to a February 2020 article by The Daily Beast, Hansen's investigative team alleges that Daniel has exploited his online fame for nearly a decade by grooming young fans and coercing them into sexually and emotionally abusive relationships. Kiro the Wolf, formerly known as the Dogman 2, real name being Joshua Hoffman, is a furry and YouTuber from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was primarily active in the furry community from 2012 to 2018, and from 2021 onwards. Kiro appeared on popular YouTuber Shane Dawson's channel, in which Shane interviewed him on being a furry. In September of 2018, Telegram chat logs circulated online which appeared to show Kiro discussing acts of bestiality and necrophilia with animals, and videos which are claimed to be Kiro committing such acts. Kiro disputed the claims on the grounds that several of the features of those in the videos do not match him. However, the user IDs of the Telegram chat logs appear to match those of Kiro's real account, which include pictures of Kiro in sexual situations with his dog, a dead fox supposedly found on the road, and that said videos were sent to him personally by Levi Dane Simmons, another member of the furry community. Kiro claimed that his account was hacked, or that the logs were faked, though the latter is not technically possible since the logs have been forwarded through Telegram's own back-end server information. It is speculated that Kiro used a proxy IP address via VPN to fake this screenshot. On September 28, 2018, Cathorix uploaded a YouTube video claiming that he personally confronted Kiro, with who he had previously conversed with, about the veracity of the logs. In the video, Cathorax claims that Kiro admitted to him that the logs were real and that he does not have an interest in some aspects of zoophilia. He went on to say that Kiro denied engaging in any actual physical animal sex acts, which directly conflicts with the now confirmed information in the chat logs. Kiro repeats this claim in a video interview with Ashley Zoe Fox, uploaded the same day, saying, "I have never had sex with any animals." In this second video, Kiro reiterates his assertion that his Telegram account was hacked, adding that he later lost control of the account due to this, and that a previous screenshot he had posted of the account he still had access to was fake and found on the internet. He claimed that the logs were only 5% true. He said that he had, in fact, joined a chat for feral artwork, through which he befriended Levi Dane Simmons, another individual implicated in the logs who was later arrested in real life, and that he was ultimately stopped speaking with this individual because he made Kiro uncomfortable. Despite the contradictions between Cathorix's video and Ashley's, Kiro retweeted a link to Cathorix's video and called it accurate. James Matthew, better known as I'm J Station or J Station, is a Canadian internet personality and former YouTuber. In January of 2020, Jay announced to his audience that his girlfriend at the time, fellow YouTuber Alexia Morano, had been killed by a drunk driver in Toronto, Canada. Subsequent videos, originally presented as genuine by Jay, show him visiting a makeshift memorial and attempting to contact her from the grave via a Ouija board. Due to the nature of the claims made by Jay in other videos in the past, such as claiming to have bought children and slaves off of the dark web, summoned dead animals, and become decapitated using a voodoo doll, some viewers and fellow YouTubers were suspicious of these claims. After the host of Some Ordinary Gamers channel on YouTube had contacted the Toronto and Ottawa police services to confirm that Morano was still alive at the time, Jay admitted that the news of her death was in fact a hoax, and that it was intended to increase his subscriber and viewer counts, and that he had planned to resurrect her in a later video. Morano ended her relationship with Jay after the controversy and since deleted her YouTube channel. In a video posted on January 26, 2020, Jay made the claim that Morano had been in on the scam from the beginning. He also claimed that she had left him and took her belongings with her, and that the police arrived at his home to notify him that she had accused him of assault, as well as assault with a weapon. Morano said on Twitter that she was just a little girl caught in the crossfire. Toronto police confirmed that a warrant for Jay's arrest was issued on February 3rd, and that he had been arrested and charged, and that he would appear in court on March 16th in Toronto's Old City Hall on charges of assault and assault with a weapon. It is unclear if the charges relate to the hoax. Marcos Wilton, better known online as Lionmaker, is a former Brazilian-Swiss Minecraft YouTuber. He is mostly known for his sexual abuse, including interacting with underage fans, until his channel was terminated. When allegations spread against Lionmaker, his friends discontinued associating with him and starring in his videos. Drama Alert was the first YouTube channel to cover the topic. On September 19, 2015, Drama Alert had an interview with a parent which exposed Lionmaker for trying to get nude images of the parent's underage child. After all of this, on March 7, 2016, an English YouTuber, Colossal is Crazy, exposed Lionmaker for being a supposed pedophile, which had communication with underage fans. Colossal also explained that Lionmaker is a master manipulator towards underage kids and that he knows how to interact with kids to get their nude photos. On November 6, 2016, Lionmaker ended up on Colossal's podcast, defending himself. Despite people starting to hate his videos, Lionmaker's YouTube channel continued to gain subscribers. Some even note that Lionmaker was in jail for 2 or 3 years. In December of 2018, Paige uploaded a video to her personal channel explaining her side of the controversy and her experience with Lionmaker. Austin Henry Jones is an American convicted sex offender and former musician who was active as a YouTuber from 2007 to 2017, prior to his arrest for the production of CP in 2017 and conviction in 2019. In 2015, Jones apologized after a video of him teaching an underage girl to twerk surfaced, with many exposing him and/or calling him out. On May 10, 2015, the music website PupFresh reported that Jones had contacted multiple underage female fans online, each time persuading the girl to twerk on video for him and also giving her directions on how to perform the act while being recorded. A Change.org petition started by an anonymous 15-year-old girl to revoke his planned participation in the upcoming Vans Warped Tour, surfacing in light of these events, did not accumulate enough signatures, but Jones eventually withdrew from the tour and addressed the allegations in a video he uploaded to his channel titled Setting the Record Straight. He admitted that the allegations were correct and apologized for his actions, while denying that nudity was involved in any of the videos he recorded or any of the webcam conversations. On June 12, 2017, Homeland Security investigations executed that search warrant. On the same day, Jones was arrested at O'Hare International Airport by agents of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Homeland Security investigations on 2 accounts of producing CP. Jones consented to a search of his home and signed a written consent form. HSI transported Jones to its offices to conduct a videotaped interview, and Jones signed a written Miranda waiver. In each case, he persuaded an underage female fan to make sexually explicit videos of herself, according to his directions. At a June 15th court hearing, Jones was released from federal custody to house arrest in his mother's custody after posting a $100,000 bond, but was ordered to abstain from using the internet while he awaited trial. He pleaded guilty to a single account of a receipt of CP on February 1st, 2019, and was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison on May 3rd, 2019. After a court hearing on May 6, 2019, Jones was given permission to remain under house arrest until he reported to prison on June 28, 2019. On May 14, 2019, a YouTube video was released by YouTuber D-Fizzy, citing evidence implicating that Kevin Lyman, the founder of Vans Warped Tour, Leslie West, owner of The Rave in Wisconsin, and Brian Stars took part in covering up Jones's behavior and actions. As of 2022, he was imprisoned at FCI Loretto under register number 52069-424. His scheduled release date was December 31st of 2027. Family 05, originally known as Daddy 05, was a controversial YouTube channel and online alias of Michael Christopher Mike Martin, which focused on daily vlogging and prank videos. At its peak, the channel's videos featured Martin, his wife Heather Martin, also known by her online alias Mommy 05, and their children. In 2017, following a series of prank videos showing the parents physically and emotionally abusing their children, the channel became the center of a public controversy as outrage grew over their mistreatment of their children. The family became the center of abuse claims following these prank videos, which became gradually more extreme, with many videos involving Mike encouraging his eldest child, Jake, to physically and mentally abuse his younger siblings, often to the point of severe injury and intense psychological distress. One such video involved Cody, the second youngest child, being thrown down a doorway by Jake and against a bookcase by Mike. He was left with what appeared to be injuries on his face. Another video involved Alex, the youngest, being instructed by Mike to slap Emma, the middle child, across the face for failing to perform a water bottle flip correctly. He was never reprimanded, despite leaving Emma visibly hurt. American YouTube personality and news commentator Philip DeFranco released a series of videos covering the channel and sharing his distaste for the content they created, starting with "Wow, we need to talk about this" on April 17, 2017. He primarily focused on a video involving invisible ink being spilled, with Cody and Alex being falsely accused of making the mess. In the video, Cody cries and pleads hysterically after being screamed at and sworn at and accused of lying, with Alex facing a similar treatment from Mike and Heather. DeFranco's first video covering the channel was uploaded on April 17th and is credited by many news outlets for shining a light on the channel's extreme content. Andrew Griffin of The Independent wrote, DeFranco's video was viewed more than 3 million times and brought widespread condemnation of the Daddy 05 channel. The video has led to debates on children being minor celebrities on social media. Emma and Cody were removed from their custody and returned to their biological mother. The creators also issued a public apology for the videos and said that they were a loving, close-knit family. On April 3, 2018, at approximately 12:46 p.m., a shooting occurred at the headquarters of the video-sharing website YouTube in San Bruno, California. The shooter was identified as 38-year-old Nassim Agdam, who entered through an exterior parking garage, approached an outdoor patio, and opened fire with a Smith & Wesson 9mm semi-automatic pistol. Agdam wounded 3 people, one of them critically, before killing herself. San Francisco General Hospital and Stanford University Medical Center treated the victims. 4 injuries were reported. The victims were a 36-year-old man in critical condition, a 32-year-old woman in fair condition, and a 27-year-old woman in stable condition. Another person injured her ankle while fleeing the building. Nassim reportedly committed the atrocious act after YouTube continually demonetized her content. MadThad0809 was a YouTuber whose content mostly centered around his relationship with his waifu, but after police made a shocking discovery, his entire life would change forever. The FBI had discovered several raunchy and explicit comments about children on MadThad's Facebook page, including statements that mocked disabled children who get molested, records show. But it wasn't just his Facebook postings that got him into trouble. The FBI also found between 300 and 350 images and videos of CP in MadThad's electronic media sources, which were seized during a search of his Southfield home, records show. The FBI tracked Mad Thad down after receiving a tip in June about a Facebook user who was actively discussing CP on the social networking site. The Facebook postings were disclosed in court records in U.S. District Court, including one that read something so obscene that I cannot even disclose it on this YouTube channel. Facebook records led the FBI to Mad Thad, who was confronted with the Facebook postings during an interview. Mad Thad told the FBI that the posts were just a joke, records show. Mad Thad's court-appointed attorney could not be reached for any comment. Aaron Thomas Campbell was born in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England on the 7th of May, 2002. He moved to the Isle of Bute when he was 4 or 5 years old with his mother Jeanette and father Christopher and their younger sister. Campbell's upbringing included elements of physical and emotional abuse, and he often argued with his alcoholic mother. He was tested for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and had a history of self-harming and depression. Campbell attended Rothsay Academy and was popular among his friends, with whom he regularly drank alcohol and attended parties. He was fit and active, while also keen on gaming. He wished to be a YouTube star and posted several videos to the website. When he was 15 years old, Campbell began to consider doing something excessive, such as rape. In 2017, he sent a Facebook message saying that he might kill one day for the lifetime experience. He entered into a rehabilitation program when he was caught starting fires. On July 2, 2018, 6-year-old Scottish girl Alicia Sarah MacPhail was abducted from her bed and murdered by 16-year-old Aaron Campbell. Alicia from Airdrie, North Lancashire, was 3 days into a stay with her grandparents on the Isle of Bute when Campbell entered their unlocked home at approximately 2 a.m. The teenager had previously bought cannabis from Alicia's father, Robert, who had lived in the house, and initially went to steal the drug. Upon finding the child asleep, Campbell picked her up, carried her to an abandoned hotel, and then raped and killed her by applying pressure to her face and neck. Alicia was reported missing at 6:23 a.m., and her body was discovered by a member of the public at 8:45. The Scotland police charged Campbell with abduction, rape, and murder on July 5, 2018. He denied any involvement and pleaded not guilty when his trial began on the 11th of February 2019. The trial lasted 9 days, presided over by Judge Lord Matthews. The jury deliberated for 3 hours before returning a unanimous guilty verdict on the 21st of February. Lord Matthews described the evidence against Campbell as overwhelming and stated that the teenager had committed some of the most wicked and evil crimes this court has ever heard of in decades of dealing with depravity. Campbell remained emotionless upon hearing his conviction. A group of media outlets made a legal bid for the teenager to be publicly identified, arguing that this transparency was in the public interest. Following the trial, Lord Matthews agreed to reverse the naming restriction, a first in Scottish history, due to the unique nature of the case. Nick Stoutzenberger, also known as Nick Bate, is a former YouTuber, vlogger, artist, and musician. He's mostly known for making vlogs as well as mocked online for his personal habits. In 2015, Nick was arrested by police for raping his own underage sister, where he currently serves prison time for 16.5 to 40 years. On the 30th of April 2015, Nick was arrested for accounts of incest charges. Police reported that Nick had raped his half-sister, Amber, around 2009 to 2010 when she was only 5 to 7 years old. He had previously said that he labeled himself as a pedophile, saying that it should be normalized and legalized in the United States. However, he stated that he would never have non-consensual sex with minors. Nick said, quote, "There needs to be a civil rights movement for pedosexuals. The general public automatically assumes that all pedosexuals are rapists, and it sucks." Nick was proven guilty and was sentenced to serve 16 to 40 years in prison. He has attempted to appeal his sentence 2 times, but has failed. Pelichan Entertainment is a Chilean former YouTuber in the Spanish YouTube community. He became infamous for a video showing him inflicting violent, fatal abuse on a pet cat named Jason Kruger. Paluchin opened his channel on September 11, 2014, at the age of 10, and uploaded his first video on December 22, 2014. He initially uploaded videos sketching his stuffed animals, gameplays of horror games such as Five Nights at Freddy's, Slender, and SCP Containment Breach, as well as paint animations, which usually contain violence, blood, gore, and high-pitched screaming. Paluchin has been criticized several times for making racist comments against people of other nationalities, including Mexicans, Argentines, Colombians, Venezuelans, and Americans. One of the most repulsive situations was when, in the middle of a live show, recorded an audio of him masturbating, repeating the name of one of his companions and saying that he was thinking about her. Paluchin sent the audio to classmates via WhatsApp and also asked him to send it to a group of the same application made up of his classmates from the Institute. On December 19, 2018, a video he had previously uploaded 14 days prior resurfaced showcasing Paluchin violently abusing Jason Kruger by throwing him, stepping on him, kicking him, pulling his tail, and repeatedly hitting him with a wooden spoon once he had been paralyzed. The cat later died from injuries caused by Paluchin. Another video also showcased him throwing one of 2 new kittens that he got after Jason's death into a dirty toilet bowl. These videos have sparked an immense amount of controversy, not only in the Spanish community, but worldwide, with many users calling for his arrest. After a while, Paluchin claimed that he didn't care about his cats and that he would keep adopting cats to kill them. He also claimed that he would kill his mother as well. On September 29, 2020, Paluchin Entertainment's channel was terminated due to violating YouTube's terms of service against animal cruelty. Trey Eric Sessler was an anime and film enthusiast who formerly reviewed anime on YouTube. He was known for being one of the first individuals who kickstarted the anime community on YouTube and was one of the biggest anime reviewers on the site. His reviews ceased to be released during March of 2012 when he was arrested, convicted of murder and planning criminal activity, and sentenced to life in prison. Mr. Anime, or Sessler, was known for having a straightforward and honest personality, as opposed to many internet personas who tried a specific gimmick, such as constantly being happy, mad, or not to mention faking their opinions. He would tell it like it was without sugarcoating anything, but was also fair and would give every anime he reviewed a fair shot. However, as time went on, he started showing signs that his sanity was slipping, such as doing research on serial killers, killing animals, using real guns in his videos, doing videos about his guns, and shooting buildings in the middle of the night. In February of 2012, Trey said that he was going to take a 2 to 3 week break to reward himself. At the end of his break, he announced on March 13th that he had a new job in a field that he had found fascinating, and it may prevent him from uploading videos. In the early morning of March 20th, 2012, Trey lured his mother out into the garage, where he shot her in the chest at point-blank range. From there, he entered the home and shot his brother in the head. His father woke up to the sounds of the shots and entered the living room to investigate, only to be shot by Trey in the torso, like his mother. From there, Trey destroyed the whole house and killed the remaining pets in the house before carrying weapons and 100 rounds of ammunition to the Waller High School down the street, with plans to commit mass murder. His original plan was to kill at least 70 students at the school's pep rally in order to become the biggest mass murderer in history, as revealed in an interrogation, like the Columbine High School massacre. He killed his family first to stop them from ever knowing that he had planned on committing this act. However, Trey stood down and returned home, where he was arrested for murder. He revealed later that the event was becoming all too real, and as a result, he gave up. Police confirmed Trey had been practicing for the event for several years by storing weapons in his college dorm and room and using buildings and household pets as target practice. He also had a large fascination for shootings, mainly Columbine, and would even rank killers. Trey was sentenced to life in prison. He had requested his rights to parole would also be taken, believing that he'd pose a danger to himself and others. On the walls in his home, he wrote several things in marker, including, "Why did I do this? I love my mom, dad, and brother. I miss my brother, father, and mother, and God, please forgive me, because I can't forgive myself." Dolly Flesh's early internet activity began on May 1st, 2016, where he posted clay gore and dismemberment onto Instagram under the account Misery Magic. He began uploading onto YouTube in 2016, where he posted violent and gory content he originally created back in 2013. Dolly Flesh expressed that he loved the clay art style and would begin animating soon after. Much of his content contains clay stop-motion animations, which had gory and disturbing elements. Many of his videos depicted serial killers murdering, torture, dismemberment, cannibalism, and sexual assault, animal abuse, etc. One recurring character that appears is named Itchy the Clown, who is based off of the serial killer John Wayne Gacy. Dolly Flesh had occasionally posted live vlogs and skits onto the channel. Some of these would sometimes use clay as well, such as him eating a clay sculpture and lactating milk from clay breasts. He created another channel in 2020 named Flesh Dolly, where he would post Let's Plays of Counter-Strike, Half-Life, Bendy the Ink Machine, etc. Another account exists called Mushy Flesh, created around the same year, but only one video was uploaded onto the channel. On May 6, 2019, Dolly Flesh made a Twitter post contemplating on buying pet hamsters. On May 14th, he would upload a vlog on YouTube which showcased him playing with new pet hamsters on his bed. The next day, on May 15th, he would upload another video where Dolly Flesh would torture and kill the hamsters, each by stabbing and amputation, being drowned and crushed, and then being microwaved to death. This video was immediately taken down, though fans contacted the authorities for his arrest. Some of his fans had previously raised concern of Dolly Flesh's disassociation with reality, as some of his YouTube and Instagram posts would discuss his frustrations on being a virgin, such as posting sexual clay images of himself murdering and amputating women. On May 25, 2020, Dolly Flesh was arrested for 2 accounts of murder and abuse, though he was later released after paying a $1,000 bail. This would lead to protests for the imprisonment around his home and in the Kelowna area. On August 16, 2021, Dolly Flesh's trial took place, where he was put under an 18-month conditional sentence and 4 to 5 years of supervision. When police asked why he murdered the hamsters, he said that he was bored and entertained by it, and hadn't shown remorse for doing so. Some of the conditions include staying off of social media, being under curfew, and he was prohibited from entering pet shops. His main channel was terminated on January 14, 2020, having 2,460 subscribers and over 400,000 views. Mike Lombardo is an American former piano rock musician. He was known for writing piano-driven rock songs and posting them on YouTube under the username Mike Lombardo Music, until his 2013 conviction on CP charges. On February 16, 2012, it was announced by the Smoking Gun that Lombardo is the target of a federal CP investigation focusing on his alleged exchange of naked photos with underage female fans. 2 days after the release of the article, Hank Green, one of the co-owners of DFTBA Records, put up a statement on his Tumblr blog stating that the company had removed Lombardo's music from their website because they didn't feel it was appropriate to continue their business relationship given the situation. On July 20th, 2012, a complaint was filed in the United States District Court for the Northern District of New York alleging 4 counts of CP-related crimes. He was arrested on July 25th, 2012, but released from custody after 5 days. On September 18, 2013, The Smoking Gun published another article announcing that Lombardo had pleaded guilty to receipt of CP. According to the plea bargain, Lombardo solicited pornographic images from 6 different minors. On February 28, 2014, Lombardo was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. He was released on August 16, 2018. Anthony Powell, better known online as Tony48219, was an American YouTuber and commentator who murdered Asia McGowan on April 10, 2009. His videos received controversy due to his expressed hate towards black women and atheists. During the 2 years that he was active on the platform, he cycled through a number of different channels and subsequent suspensions due to the nature of his videos. Some commenters expressed concerns for Anthony's mental health, as some of his videos became more disassociated from reality. Anthony had apparently been expressing suicidal thoughts, mentioning a shotgun and saying that he had issues with getting a girlfriend. On April 10, 2009, Anthony entered Mackenzie Fine Arts Center, where he was a student, and made his way towards a classroom. There he found Asia McGowan, a fellow YouTuber. Powell killed Asia McGowan by ambushing with a shotgun. Afterwards, he took his own life by shooting himself in the head. Most of his channels are suspended and terminated by an unknown user after the shooting. He had been a friend of Asia's on MySpace. Jared Lee Loughner is an American mass murderer who pled guilty to 19 charges of murder and attempted murder in connection with the January 8, 2011 Tucson shooting, in which he shot and severely injured U.S. Representative Gabby Giffords and killed 6 people, including Chief U.S. District Court Judge John Roll, Gabe Zimmerman, a member of Gifford's staff, and a 9-year-old girl. Loughner shot and injured a total of 13 people, including one man who was injured while subduing him. Loughner's YouTube page, Class It Up 10, was a hub for Loughner to express some of his twisted ideals and beliefs. However, none of his followers could have predicted the atrocity that he was about to commit. Loughner allegedly purchased a 9mm Glock pistol used in the shooting from a Sportsman's Warehouse in Tucson on November 30th, 2010. The night before the shooting, at 2:05 a.m., he left a message on a friend's voicemail saying, "Hey man, it's Jared. Me and you had good times. Peace out." In a MySpace post the morning of the shooting at 4:12 a.m., he wrote, "Goodbye friends, please don't be mad at me. The literacy rate is below 5%. I haven't talked to one person who is literate. I want to make it out alive. The longest war in the history of the United States. Goodbye. I'm saddened with the current currency and job employment. I had a bully at school. Thank you. P.S. I plead the fifth." The MySpace page showed a close-up photo of a handgun sitting on top of a document titled United States History. On January 8, 2011, at 7:04 a.m., Loughner went to a Walmart store near the Foothills Mall to purchase ammunition, but left that store and completed his purchase at Walmart at North Cortaro Road at 7:28 a.m. He was stopped by Arizona Game and Fish Department Officer Alan Edward Forney at 7:34 a.m. for running a red light, but once the officer determined that there were no outstanding warrants for Loughner, he was allowed to proceed to his destination with a warning to drive carefully. Loughner took a taxi to a Safeway supermarket location where Representative Giffords was holding a constituents meeting. The shooting occurred at 10:10 a.m. Loughner opened fire on Giffords from close range, hitting her as well as numerous bystanders, and killing 6 people. 13 other people were injured by gunfire, and 1 person was injured while fleeing the scene of the shooting. Giffords, the apparent target of the attack, was shot in the head and critically injured. Eric-Auvinen was a Finnish student and the perpetrator of the 2007 Jakala school shooting. Auvinen killed 8 and wounded 1 before fatally injuring himself by self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. He died later in the hospital of his injuries. Auvinen was active online for at least a year before the shooting, having 2 YouTube accounts with the names Sturmgeist89 and Natural Selector89. He was known to a fellow YouTuber, TJ Kirk, aka The Amazing Atheist, who called for authorities to investigate accounts with content on school shootings, including one used by Auvinen. Before the attack, Auvinen posted a video on YouTube. The video was titled Yakala High School Massacre 11/7/2007. The video contained the image of Yakala's school and a photo of Auvinen posing with a pistol in his hands. After the video was published, Auvinen went to the school on a bicycle and started shooting. The school director warned the students on an intercom to hide from the shots. Auvinen shot at 2 boys who were sitting on a bench. Only one got out alive while the other died. The school nurse was shot while trying to help the victims. Auvinen killed the director outside of the school with several shots. Auvinen then entered a classroom full of students and shot 2 times. No one was injured in the classroom, though, thankfully. When the police arrived to the school, Auvinen shot 2 times towards them. Auvinen then fatally shot himself in the bathroom. Randy Stair, mostly known by his online pseudonym Andrew Blaze, was a YouTuber who resided in Dallas, Pennsylvania. He murdered 3 of his coworkers in a mass shooting at a local Weiss supermarket and shortly thereafter killed himself. After the shooting, it was discovered that Stair had left a big social media footprint, especially on YouTube. He was most notably obsessed with the character Ember from the Nickelodeon cartoon Danny Phantom, and even made a fictional group of girls all based on the character called Ember's Ghost Squad. Even though Stair did not commit a school shooting, he idolized the Columbine high school shooters Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, and wrote about committing a school shooting, made an animated video of a school shooting, and wrote that Weiss Markets is officially Columbine High School. He said that he would have gone back to his old high school to commit the shooting, but it had been demolished the year after that he graduated. He also believed he was a woman trapped in a man's body, and admitted in a video to frequently cross-dressing when his family wasn't home. He wrote in a journal and filmed home videos of himself planning the massacre, dubbed the Suicide Tapes, which were all uploaded onto his now deleted Mediafire page. At approximately 11 p.m. on June 7, 2017, Stair arrived at Weiss Markets for his late-night shift. Before performing his typical store duties, Stair blocked an emergency exit near the building's crew area. Not long after, Stair returned to the crew area and blocked any remaining emergency exits. After securing all of the store's exits, including locking the automatic doors located at the entrance, Randy equipped himself with 2 pistol-grip automatic shotguns. Stair then prowled the store, killing 3 co-workers. Of the 5 total employees working the store that night, Kristen Newell was the only survivor. Newell, who had been distracted and listening to music whilst the events unfolded, was approached by Stair. Stair remained behind Newell for approximately 5 seconds before Newell, still unaware of the situation, turned to walk down another aisle. Newell became aware of the attack when Stair began shooting at store merchandise, including a glass object, and immediately fled to the crew room where she contacted the police. The shooting concluded when Stair took his own life via self-inflicted gunshot near the deli section. Investigators later discovered that, despite arming himself with 2 weapons, all fired rounds were ejected from only one of Stair's shotguns. Samantha Wolford was a small YouTuber making her place in the industry, but for her, this YouTube channel was not enough. Wolford wanted to be an actress and make it into the spotlight. However, life did not work out that way for her, as the only thing that she would ever be famous for was the kidnapping and the murder of her husband, Ernest Ibarra. Samantha was the mother of 5 children. When she was 19 years old, she had a pair of twins with her high school boyfriend. Ernie and Samantha met in 2008 at a local tattoo shop before the couple began dating. In 2011, Samantha welcomed another set of twins, but this time with Ibarra. In 2013, at the age of 24, Samantha had her 5th child. In 2014, over a fight about Ernie's gaming character marrying a female character online, Samantha threatened to leave Ernie, but to quell the battle, he asked her to marry him. To support the family of 7, Ernie worked 2 jobs. However, it was not enough. Samantha believed that starting a YouTube channel would be enough to take an extra load off of Ernie's shoulders, and decided to go down that path. Her videos discussed her passions, personal life, and the struggles of being a young mother of 5. Samantha Wolford was at the center of a murder plot that ended in the killing of her husband in 2015. With the help of Jose Ponce, Jonathan Sanford, and Octavius Rhymes, she planned on taking Ibarra out of the picture using a drug bust, which then reportedly turned into a full-fledged murder plan upon the agreement of all parties involved. Ernie was brutally attacked in his own home, kidnapped in the middle of the night, and ultimately killed with a gunshot to the head in a remote Camp County bayou area where authorities discovered his body. Many believe that Samantha did this for the fame, while others thought that Samantha did this because Ernie threatened to leave her and take the children with him. Being a mother who put her children through neglect for a YouTube channel was not something that Ernie was willing to settle for. After Jonathan's testimony, Samantha, Jose, and Octavius were sentenced to prison, while Jonathan and Jose were given shorter sentences and condemned just for kidnapping. Samantha and Octavius were convicted for the kidnapping and the murder. Like most YouTube stars, David Rock reveals much of his private life online, inviting fans up to the farm near Lucan, Ontario to drink beer and play with the rust buckets and barn cats. He's also revealed some of the custody battles with the 2 of ex-girlfriends with whom he's had children with, and he's occasionally posted nude videos, although none of these exist on his own channel. But after a September 2009 accident where one of Rock's friends broke his spine while trying to catch air in a Winnebago, Canadian newspapers revealed that Rock pled guilty in 1992 to 7 charges of sexually exploiting 2 children and spent time in prison for it. Rock admitted to videotaping 2 teenage boys while encouraging them to, well, I'm sure you can imagine. He said that at the time he suffered from undiagnosed manic depression, which has since been treated, and that the minors aren't allowed on his farm without adult guardians. Those revelations set off an online war between Rock's supporters and critics, including one ex-girlfriend, Anna Toms, who conducted mostly via YouTube comments and a video supposedly showing Rock decapitating a pig with a chainsaw. Toms eventually won a restraining order barring Rock from disparaging her online. Rock himself had videotaped death threats made against him. Despite the online criticisms, Rock's popularity keeps rolling, and he's still posting 4 or 5 new videos a week to his channel. Many of them show groups of teenagers hanging out, training for hoonage. For those who don't know what hoonage is, it's defined as aggressively flogging a car, but in a manner that stops just short of reckless. From the redneck roller coaster to the half car and blowing up appliances with the airbags, David Rock's combination of mechanical skill and adolescent regard for physics and safety has drawn 95 million viewings. Rock says that YouTube pays him up to $15,000 a month as a part of a business partnership, and his channel has 93,000 subscribers. Christine Weston, or Chris Chandler, better known online as Civil Guardian or Chris Chan, is an American YouTuber, vlogger, artist, musician, and cult leader known for creating the webcomic series Sinister. Chris originally identified as a male, but came out as a transgender woman in 2016 and changed her name to Christine. Chris's internet career began in 1999 with the uploading of Sinister comics to a personal website. She created her first YouTube channel in 2007, which was around the time that she became infamous for being a trolling target due to her comics and personal life. Christine has been noted as one of the first internet lolcows and one of the most documented people online because of her behavior both online and offline. Chris's original YouTube account was Sinister and was created on May 8, 2007. The channel mainly consisted of fan art and her appearances on the news. She deleted the channel on September 11, 2008 after it was supposedly hacked. Among many other controversies, such as the Virginia Community College ban, Love Quest, and the 9/11 video, an audio file and text messages were leaked online on July 30th, 2021, in which Christine described in graphic detail how she sexually assaulted her own mother numerous times. Chris claimed that she started having sex with Barbara every 3 days beginning on June 27th of that year. In the text messages, Chris acknowledged that it was hurting Barbara and that she told Chris to stop. Barbara also may have never consented to the incest, since it has been noted that she could have been possibly suffering from dementia at the time. On July 30th, 2021, an emergency protective order was put in place, and Chris was removed from her family home. She was not allowed to return to the house until August 5th. The next day, however, she violated the protective order by stealing $750 from Barbara's bank account. Chris denied ever siphoning the $750 from Barbara's bank account. However, when a screenshot of the confirmation email was displayed to her, she then confessed that she had online control of Barbara's account, but she said that it was for an emergency and that she planned on returning the $750 to Barbara after $1,000 was added to her account. On August 1st, 2021, Chris was arrested in Richmond, Virginia, where she was staying as a result of being evicted from her home. She was led away by police and was charged with felony incest, with additional charges pending. She was taken to a county jail and was later removed to a Central Virginia regional jail, where she is currently being held without bond. YouTube star Alyssa Ann Dayvault was sentenced to 40 years in prison for dumping her 2 newborn babies in the trash, one after the other. Dayvault, a YouTube beauty vlogger, gave birth to a baby girl in 2017 and a boy in 2018. The jury convicted her of throwing both babies in the garbage moments after birthing them. After showing little emotion while hearing her verdict, Dayvault tearfully asked the judge to reconsider her sentence, which did not include parole. "I just want to apologize," she said, and then referred to her other daughters. "I hope one day they'll forgive me for what I have done." Dayvault also apologized to her ex-boyfriend, Chris Madichin, who fathered the infants, as well as his parents. "I especially want to apologize to the Madichins. I never meant to do anything. I never harmed anyone. I made a horrible mistake in my actions, how I handled things. I would never do anything to harm anyone, especially a child," said Dayvault while sobbing. Dayvault's defense attorney, Shard Crawford, argued that Dayvault suffered from mental health issues that may have contributed to her missing her trial. Though those mental health issues don't rise to the level of incompetency as that avenue was explored, they certainly give context to the events that transpired, Crawford said. But the judge and Chief Deputy Solicitor, Scott Hickson, said Dayvault's sentence was appropriate for her crime. "As it relates to mental health issues, Your Honor, in South Carolina, you're either insane or you're not. Since she's not, she bears the full brunt of the law, and we believe Your Honor's sentence is appropriate in this case," Hickson said. Madichin said Dayvault's sentence provided him with some relief after living the past 2 years with the type of burden with no type of closure. "This has been far and away the hardest thing that we've ever had to deal with, but hearing that justice is coming to her makes it a little easier to comprehend," Madichin said after the ex-girlfriend's conviction. Dayvault sought medical attention after giving birth. The doctors were confirmed to find a placenta and umbilical cord without an infant. She later admitted that she gave birth at her home in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and threw the newborn in the trash bin and did the same with the other child. Elliot Oliver Robertson Roger was an English-American YouTube vlogger known for killing 6 people and injuring 14 near the campus of the University of California, Santa Barbara, in California before taking his own life. The attack began when 22-year-old Roger stabbed 3 men to death in his apartment. Afterwards, he drove to a sorority house and shot 3 female students outside, killing 2 of them. He drove to a nearby deli and shot to death a male student who was inside. He then began to speed through the Isla Vista, shooting and wounding several pedestrians and striking several others with his car. Roger exchanged gunfire with police twice during the attack, receiving a non-fatal gunshot wound to the hip. The rampage ended when his car crashed into a parked vehicle and came to a stop. Police found him dead in the car with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Before driving to the sorority house, Roger uploaded to YouTube a video entitled Elliot Rogers' Retribution, in which he outlined details of his upcoming attack and his motives for them. He said that he wanted to punish women for rejecting him and to punish sexually active men for living a more enjoyable life than his. After uploading the video, Roger emailed a lengthy autobiographical manuscript to approximately a dozen acquaintances and family members. The document, which was titled My Twisted World, was made available on the internet and became widely known as his manifesto. In it, he described his childhood, family conflicts, frustration over not being able to find a girlfriend, his hatred of women, his contempt for racial minorities and interracial couples, and his plans for what he described to as his retribution. His parents allegedly knew that he had mental issues, but he never got help for any of them. Elliot Rogers' YouTube channel did not get popular until he had already been convicted of murder. Elliot's family was also very rich, and he thought that since he was rich, all the girls would want to be with him. He also wanted to lose his virginity very badly. None of that ever happened, and that is what led to the Isla Vista massacre. According to his family's attorney and a family friend, Roger had seen multiple therapists since he was 8 years old. He was diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, and autism spectrum disorder in 2007. Stas Rifle was a YouTuber and streamer who was sentenced to 6 years in prison after he appeared to force his girlfriend outside in the cold, where she died of hypothermia. In the live stream of the incident from December 2020, which Insider obtained footage of, Stas's girlfriend, Valentina, was wearing only underwear when she was seemingly forced out onto the balcony. He later appeared to realize that she wasn't breathing and called for the medics, who told him that she had died. "My bunny, what's up with you?" Stas said while streaming after carrying Valentina back inside, the Sun reported. "Guys, no pulse. She's pale. She is not breathing." After the stream, an urgent investigation began, according to the Mir, and Stas was taken into custody. According to the Moscow Times, the 30-year-old was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter on Tuesday by the Moscow region's city court. According to TASS, a state-owned media network in Russia, Stas will be sent to a maximum security prison colony. Though the creator was streaming on a different platform at the time, he had a presence on YouTube, where clips from the graphic stream continued to circulate. A YouTube spokeswoman told Insider in December, "We're shocked to learn of this tragic incident and that this kind of graphic content is not acceptable on YouTube." Stas participated in the trash streaming trend, sometimes referred to as thrash streaming, that's become hugely popular online in Russia. According to The Sun, the depraved nature of the stunts allows streamers to make money through donations and viewer interaction. In March, a live stream on YouTube showed a woman being drugged and sexually assaulted in her home in Russia, The Sun and Russian media reported. A 60-year-old man in Russia died in February after reportedly drinking 1.5 liters of vodka during a stream, according to Russian outlets previously cited by Insider. These streams have called Russian lawmakers to address the trend. Devin Erickson was an American high school student, actor, musician, controversial personality, criminal, and murderer from Colorado. He is charged with carrying out a mass shooting at a Denver area charter school. Additionally, Devin, 18, has been identified as one of the 2 students involved in the shooting at STEM school Highlands Ranch. The school is located in Douglas County, Colorado, in the United States. On the afternoon of May 7, 2019, Devin Erickson and Alec McKinney briefly left Highlands Ranch STEM School during their lunch period and went to Erickson's house, where McKinney threatened Erickson into breaking open a gun safe with a crowbar and an axe. The safe contained 3 firearms, a rifle, and 3 handguns, and were concealed by the duo in a guitar case and a backpack. The 2 also engaged in cocaine before returning to Highlands Ranch. Upon returning to the school, Devin Erickson claims that they departed after McKinney entered through the school's back entrance, where he would have been less likely to have been caught with the weapons. Although their stories differ, Erickson told police that he had intended to inform a teacher of McKinney's plans. However, he insists that his plan to do so was foiled when the two reunited. The two targeted classroom 107 and entered together through a separate door. Devin claims that upon seeing Alec reach for one of the guns, he shouted for the classroom inhabitants to get down before being rushed at by two students. Erickson says that the impact of the students prompted the weapon to fire. Devin insists that he did not intend for anyone to be harmed or shot at. On June 15, 2020, he was guilty of all charges, and on September 17, 2020, he was sentenced to life in prison. Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Perret. I am the director and one of the writers for the upcoming 2023 horror drama film titled Sigil. Sigil is about a lot of things, but I think it's mainly about love, and specifically the jealousy that is associated with love. So despite being in a happy relationship with one another, Maeve and Bridget are falling apart. Bridget's family is very loving and very supportive of them and their relationship, where Maeve's family can't even show up to her voice recitals anymore. This sort of causes Maeve to fall into depression and anxiety as the college semester comes to a close. So because of this, Bridget decides to rent a cabin on the countryside, sort of in an effort to avoid all of the different family festivities that are associated with the upcoming holiday season. So the girls eventually arrive to the cabin, and they're spending the first night with one another, and they're having a good time, and it feels as if it's the beginning of their relationship once again. However, this feeling doesn't last long, because during the following day, as the girls are exploring the property a little bit more, they're in the woods, and they come across a tree that has this mysterious etching, this mysterious symbol carved into it, and Maeve unknowingly makes a wish upon the symbol that could give her all of the love and the acceptance that she has been yearning for, but it comes at the cost of the person who loves her the most. At the end of the day, this story is really a woman's story, and I wanted that feminine presence to be felt in the writing, so that's why I decided to have my co-writer Rhiannon come on. We've known each other since we were teenagers, and I think she really gives the story that authenticity that everyone is looking for. And really, at the end of the day, it's her story, and I'm just more so the person who is bringing it off of the page. And what I think is so interesting and so special about Sigil is that while everyone may not be able to relate to the idea of being in a taboo relationship, everyone wants the acceptance and the love from their parental figures, and that's the sentiment that initially got me invested in the story, and that's the message that I think will stick with people long after the film is over.